Welcome to APABI Focus, and this time we're pleased to have Mongolia. Ms. Bumchme Gungaa is the CEO of the Banking and Finance Academy of Mongolia, BFA, which is a relatively new institution founded in 2010. So since I think I, along with maybe some other APABI members, don't know enough about Mongolia, maybe you could start by introducing what are you working on these days? What are the priorities for the BFA and the financial sector in Mongolia right now?
Thank you. Right now, financial regulators in Mongolia are focusing on several priorities, like improving bank governance and making financial service more inclusive and reducing interest rates. For the banks, integrating both green and digital transformation at the institutional level is a strategic priority. At BFA, our main focus is helping bankers build the skills they need for the industry and providing research that leads to informed and evidence-based policy discussions. For the capacity building, we are working with the central bank to improve professional standards for the last few years. They introduced national benchmark, and we launched a new bankers certification program that aligns with those standards. Besides the standard programs, we also organize training which is consistent with new policy strategies and regulatory reforms in the sector. For instance, recently amendments were made to the banking law to improve bank governance and attract foreign investment. So Mongolian big banks went public to support these regulatory reforms. We are organizing training with international experts, helping bankers to build skills in global capital markets in this July. For the research side, we also work with the regulators, and this year, Central Bank updated its strategy to reduce interest rate, and we planning to conduct research on cost of non-performing loan recovery to support this strategy. Currently, it takes around 4 years to recover non-performing loan, which increases a lot of cost to banks. But the indicator is not available for the last 5 years, so that's why we are working on to get this and report this indicator regularly. Tracking and reporting this indicator is important. It can serve as a measure for monitoring the effectiveness of the policy implementation of this strategy. And for the second priority for the regulator is improving financial inclusion. One of the main challenges is that in addition to the high interest rate, collateral requirement is quite strict in Mongolia. It making harder for many people, businesses to get access to credit. 70% of loans are backed by the real estate. So we have done some research on the supply chain financing. We see the real potential in supply chain financing, especially in sectors like agriculture.
Yes, and that was exactly where I wanted to go, because I noticed on your website that you have you put out a report on supply chain financing in agriculture, which kind of touches on these issues of financial inclusion. So what were the conclusions of that report?
Supply chain financing, it doesn't just help individual entrepreneurs, it strengthens entire whole value chain participants, from production to logistics and distribution. By leveraging data from all the participants of the value chain, financial institution can offer more tailored and flexible financial services. Agriculture, most of the agriculture sector in Mongolia are household level with limited formal financial engagement. Supply chain financing encourages better financial literacy and documentation for the loan, and which leads to more inclusive financial products and a stronger, resilient agriculture sector.
Now, I wanted to ask maybe a little bit more internally. How do you work with international partners? So, of course, we have APABI, which is Asia Pacific region, and do you also engage with other organizations, and how do you do that?
Right now, we are seeing a lot of market distortion and fast digital transformation globally. So it's very important to react proactively to keep our banking sector resilient. International collaboration really helped us to move in the right direction. We work with ATTF Luxembourg and also EBRD and Sparkassenstiftung, etc. We regularly invite international experts from partner institutions for workshops and seminars, and we adapt their insight to Mongolian unique context. There is a growing interest among Mongolian bankers in visiting overseas institutions like Taiwanese Academy of Banking and Finance and Korean Banking Institute, and we are facilitating those opportunities. So we also expanded online training with international experts from partner institutions.
Yes, I remember your visit, I think about 2 years ago. Yeah, my other question would be among APABI, how do you see our institute deepening cooperation, and how could it be more useful to the member institutes?
The banking sector increasing compliance standards are making less attractive to young professionals, young graduates. Therefore, fintech boom in Mongolia has increased the competitiveness for talents in human resource in the financial industry. So retaining talent and keeping employees at workplace and supporting skill development is crucial now. It's very crucial. And for the smaller organizations like ours, deeper collaboration with APABI is incredibly valuable. APABI gives us a chance to connect, share ideas, work together, and solve challenges we all face. Clear examples of effectiveness of APABI communities, our collaboration with Taiwanese Academy of Banking and Finance and Korean Banking Institute, as I mentioned before, and to organize study tours and through which Mongolian bankers are learning from the best practices of banking professionals in these countries. In further, we'd love to explore joint certification programs with APABI member institutes, particularly in the area like AML, compliance, cybersecurity. And we'd also love to collaborate APABI member institutes on updating and enhancing our current training programs.
Yes. I remember actually back in 2022, the APABI conference in Ulaanbaatar, the topic of attracting young talent to the banking sector was one of the things that we talked about a lot. So I think that that pretty much covers what we wanted to talk about today. So thank you for appearing, and I hope to see you again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.